If I'm being honest, I never wanted her in my house. Not for a visit, not for a holiday, and definitely not to live. Because from the moment I married her son, Claudette made it very clear I'd never be good enough for him. She didn't hug me at our wedding. She told my mom, well, it's not who I prayed for, but God's will, right? She called me girl instead of my name, said my cooking was bland, told Marcus I kept him too busy to come by and see her like he used to. I ignored it for years. But when she showed up at our door with a suitcase and a fake limp, saying she just needed a place to recover from her surgery, my stomach dropped. No, I told Marcus the second we were alone. She can stay with your sister, or get a hotel, or I'll cover the Airbnb myself. He looked at me like I'd slapped him. She's my mother. And I'm your wife. You know how she treats me. You're overreacting, he cut in. She said she just needs 2 weeks. Come on, don't make this a thing. So I let her in, and she started taking over the second her bags hit the floor. First, it was the kitchen. She rearranged everything. My son likes his spices in ABC order, she said, smirking as she tossed out my seasoning rack and replaced it with labeled jars. Then she started cooking dinner every night, which might have been sweet if she didn't constantly say things like, "This is real food, not that boxed stuff you young girls throw together." I said nothing. Told myself to pick my battles. Until she started accidentally washing only Marcus's laundry, leaving mine in the basket, wrinkled, mildewed. I brought it up to him. He laughed. She's old school, babe. She doesn't mean anything by it. Then I caught her folding laundry in the living room. Just his clothes, just the kids'. Mine were still wet in the washer. When I said something, she smiled sweetly and said, "Oh, I didn't want to touch your underthings, sweetie. That's private, right?" She'd say sweetie like it meant bitch. Then she moved on to the kids. She started calling herself second mommy. Told my daughter to come to her when real mom says no. I overheard her telling my son, "Your mommy's always yelling, huh?" "Nana never yells." I confronted her that night. She blinked at me, wide-eyed, innocent. "I was just trying to help. You seemed overwhelmed, sweetie." That damn sweetie. I tried to set boundaries, but Claudette didn't believe in walls, only doors she could walk through uninvited. She'd snoop through my bathroom drawers, leave my journal open on the table, even commented on things she had no business knowing. "You know, Marcus looked happier before y'all moved here, right? Maybe the city life ain't good for some marriages." I told Marcus. "She's getting in our heads, in our marriage," he sighed, rolled his eyes. "She's bored, not plotting a coup." I looked at him. "No, she's evil, and you're letting her camp out in our bedroom hallway like she doesn't hate me." By week 3, I stopped being polite. I stopped hiding how pissed off I was. Claudette, of course, doubled down on the victim act. She'd cry when the kids weren't looking, clutch her hip dramatically, told her prayer group that I was verbally aggressive and controlling. People started calling me. "Girl, what's going on over there? Claudette said you won't let her see the grandkids." I laughed. That woman saw them more than I did. Then one night, I found her digging through my closet, straight up snooping, holding up my old journals, flipping pages like she paid the rent. I lost it. "Are you insane? Get the hell out of my room." She calmly turned to me, holding a page in her hand. "Oh, relax. You left the door open. I thought I heard one of the kids crying. My mistake." Marcus walked in during the argument, took her side. She probably just got confused. You didn't have to scream at her. I wanted to pack my bags right then and there, but I stayed, because I thought I could outlast her. I was wrong, and I'll admit it. I got petty. Swapped her heat pad for a cold pack. Accidentally spilled water in her orthopedic shoes. Put too much salt in her coffee. She always caught me, and she always told Marcus, "She's bullying me. She's making this home hostile. I feel unsafe." Marcus said I was being immature, said I was better than that. But by then I wasn't sure I was. The breaking point came one Saturday morning. I woke up to find my daughter's hair chopped short. Gone. My baby's curls butchered, uneven, rough. "What happened?" I screamed. Claudette walked in with coffee in hand, calm as ever. She was playing salon, said she wanted to look like her Nana. I looked at my daughter. She nodded. She said, "Mommy doesn't let me cut it, but Nana said it's my head." I turned to Marcus, shaking. His mouth opened and then closed. I thought this would be the moment, the final straw. But he said nothing. Claudette smiled. "See? Overreacting. Again." That night, I cried in the car for 2 hours and made a decision. If nobody else was going to protect this house, I would. The next week, I came home from work early. The house was quiet, too quiet, and then I heard it. Claudette, in the playroom, laughing, with Aaliyah, Marcus's ex. The same ex his mama always swore understood him better. The same ex who showed up at our baby shower uninvited and claimed they still had a connection. The same one I made it clear was never allowed in my home. Standing right there, in my house. Drinking wine, watching my wedding video on the TV. Thought it'd be nice to catch up, she said. No harm in reconnecting old friends. I exploded. I lunged across the room so fast the wine glass shattered. You disrespectful witch! You think this is a joke? Aaliyah ran. Fast. Claudette turned to me with her usual smug calm. You're just mad he never got over her. I didn't make that happen, sweetheart. Marcus walked in, saw the mess, the broken glass, my daughter crying in the hallway, and me shaking with fury. Then his eyes landed on the TV screen. Our wedding paused mid-vow. Next to it, the wine bottle, 2 glasses, and Aaliyah's scarf on the armrest. And for once, he didn't defend her. He looked at his mother and whispered, You need to leave. She blinked. Marcus, she attacked me. I said leave. You crossed the line. She tried to cry. He didn't flinch, but she didn't go quietly. She turned to me, eyes blazing. You miserable little bitch. I knew you'd ruin him. You dress him in Walmart clothes, feed him out of boxes, and wonder why he looks tired. My jaw clenched. At least I'm not a washed-up manipulator who couldn't keep her own damn marriage together. She screamed. You think you've won? You're nothing. You were never the one I pictured standing next to my son. And yet, here I am, I said, stepping forward. In my house, raising my kids, living the life you wish you could control. Marcus stepped in front of her. Get out. Now. She looked at him like a stranger. You're choosing her over your own mother? I'm choosing peace, something we haven't had since you got here. She packed up that night, and as she wheeled her suitcase to the door, she turned and muttered, This house was better before you walked into it. I smiled. And now it's better because you're walking out. And for the record, at least I didn't get left by my husband and lose my whole family trying to control theirs. She hasn't spoken to us since. But sometimes I think about the look on her face when she got caught. That flicker of rage, of losing, of being seen. It felt better than justice. It felt like freedom. My mama always told me, help where you can, but know when to walk away. I didn't listen, and it almost cost me everything. Almost cost me my son. Her name was Kiana. We met 9 months ago through a mutual friend at a party in Midtown. She was loud, wild, funny, the kind of woman who turned heads when she walked in. Me? I was more low-key, the type to show up early, leave before the drama. We weren't close, just club friends. A few drinks, a few laughs. But when she called me crying one night, I felt something shift. Her boyfriend had just gotten locked up for selling drugs. She and her son had been evicted. She said she didn't have anywhere else to go. That she was scared, that she just needed a few weeks. I thought about my own son, what it would mean if I were in her shoes. So I said yes. I should have said no. From the moment she moved in, my house changed. It wasn't the mess that bothered me at first, though that came quickly. Dirty dishes piled up in the sink, days old. Clothes tossed across the hallway. Her son left sticky fingerprints on every surface in sight. But it was the little things that cracked me first. The way she blasted music filled with curse words and explicit sexual lyrics while my son was watching cartoons. The way she promised she'd contribute when her unemployment hit, and then turned around and bought new nails and a wig the same week. I told myself she was adjusting, that she just needed time. I told myself a lot of things. 2 weeks in, I found my son crying in his room. He wouldn't tell me why. He just shook his head and clutched his little stuffed bear. I pressed. He resisted, but eventually, he told me. Kiana's son had been bullying him, pushing him, mocking his toys, calling him soft. I waited until the next morning, then gently brought it up to her. She laughed it off. Girl, they boys. That's just how they play. That night, I heard her yelling at her son behind the closed door. But not about the bullying. About telling. Still, I held on. Every time she said, "Thank you again for letting me stay here," something in me softened. Every time she said, "You're a blessing, I swear I'll help with rent when the check drops," I nodded, but the check never dropped. And the blessing started to feel like a curse. Then came the white powder. I was scrubbing the bathroom, her bathroom, because of course she never did it herself. I lifted the toilet lid to clean behind the tank, and something caught my eye. A plastic bag, stuffed between the porcelain and the wall. I reached for it, pulled it out. My heart dropped. White powder, packed tight, too neat to be anything innocent. I stared at it, my blood boiling. Then I stormed out. Kiana was in the kitchen, fixing a bowl of cereal like we weren't living in a nightmare. I slammed the bag down on the counter. "Are you selling drugs out of my house now?" She blinked, confused. "Wait, what? Where did you?" "Behind the toilet. In your bathroom." She opened her mouth, then shut it. Stepped closer. Her voice dropped just above a whisper. "Okay, look, that is not mine. I swear to God. My friend Mark must have dropped that. I told him to stop bringing that shit in people's houses. You had a man bring drugs into my home? What if one of the kids had found this, Kiana?" Her eyes dropped. "I didn't know he stashed it, Rashida. I would never... You think I'd be that dumb? In your house? I don't care who it belongs to. He can't come back here. At all. And if I ever find anything like this in my home again, you're out. No discussion." She nodded quietly. "I'm gonna call him. I promise. I'm gonna cuss him out. He has no business doing that while me and my son are staying here." I didn't believe her, but I needed to pretend I did. Just a little longer. Then came the worst moment of my life. I had asked Kiana to watch my son while I ran to a late work meeting. I had left his inhaler in its usual spot, top drawer of the kitchen island. Told her twice, reminded her in a text. When I pulled into the driveway, a man I'd never seen before was walking down the front steps. He barely looked at me as he passed, just nodded once. My stomach twisted. I stepped into the house and something felt off. Too quiet, too still. I called out my son's name, no answer. Then I saw him on the floor. Eyes wide. Breathing shallow. Face pale, I screamed. Ran. Fell to my knees and ripped the drawer open, grabbed the inhaler and held it to his mouth. His chest moved, once, twice, then he coughed. I stood up, shaking. Rushed to her door. Knocked once. I'm surprised I didn't put a hole in the damn thing. She opened it, phone in hand, still smiling, still on live. And right before she even looked up at me, she laughed and said into the camera, "I guess I'm in trouble again, y'all." I slapped the phone clean out of her fingers. Her eyes widened. "What the hell is wrong with you?" She blinked, confused. Smacked her lips. "Why weren't you watching him?" "Girl, he fine. You overreacting like always." My voice cracked, louder than I meant. "Sharp. He was on the floor, barely breathing, Kiana." She blinked again. The color drained from her face. "What? My son just had an asthma attack while you were on Instagram Live. I told you, more than once, where his inhaler is. I reminded you in a text. And you didn't check on him once?" I could see it hit her face in stages. The shock, then the guilt, then the defensiveness. "He looked fine when I last saw him. I was just live for a second." "He could have died," I snapped. "You were supposed to watch him. Not scroll. Not go live. Watch him." "Why was that man leaving my house just now? The same one who left that bag in my bathroom?" She sighed, annoyed. "He was just picking something up. He wasn't even here long." Then under her breath, "This is why I hate asking people for help." That night, I packed her things, every last one, put them by the door. And the next morning, I told her, "I love you, Kiana. I really wanted to help you, but you need to leave. Today." She didn't argue, just nodded, said nothing. Took her son, left, and for 2 days I felt peace, until I came home and found the back window shattered, drawers emptied, cabinets pulled open, my jewelry gone, my son's game system gone. But the one thing that made my knees buckle, the chain, his father's chain, the one he gave our son before he passed, the only thing we had left of him, gone. I collapsed in the doorway. My son came to me crying, not for the toys, not for the TV, but for that chain. "Mommy, why would someone take that?" "That was from Daddy." I couldn't answer, couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. I just held him and sobbed. 2 days later, I got the call. My neighbor's doorbell camera caught the break-in. 2 figures, one tall, one smaller. Kiana's son had a distinct walk. I'd know it anywhere. I should have listened to my mama. I should have never opened the door, never let the devil unpack her bags in my house. Because the moment Kiana crossed my threshold, I didn't just let her in. I opened Pandora's box. and nothing has been the same since. If I ever tell this story to anyone in real life, they'll look at me like I need to be committed. But I swear, on everything I love, what happened in that dorm wasn't a game. It wasn't a joke. The devil took my roommate, and I watched it happen. Freshman year, new start, new dorm, new nameplate on the door that read, Leah and Caden, 102C. Caden was cool at first, a little awkward, sure. She had these color-coded sticky tabs for everything and wiped down her desk like it was a science lab. But she was nice, funny even. I liked her. We joked about how our majors made us polar opposites. Me, the dreamy English lit nerd, always half asleep with a novel in my hand. And her? Religious studies. Bright, precise, obsessed with origins. At first it was just course stuff. Did you know Satan was originally called the Morning Star? Lucifer actually means light bringer. Kinda poetic, right? We'd laugh it off. I told her, you're gonna summon something one day digging into all that. She smirked. Not unless it wants to help with my midterms. But something shifted. Fast. She started printing pages and pages about demons. Books stacked sky high. Demonology of the Ancients. The Lesser Key of Solomon. The Book of Enoch. One night, I heard her whispering to herself, reciting passages in Latin under her breath. I said, Caden, you good? She didn't even look up. Just muttered, it's just fascinating how wrong we've been about him. I froze. What? She looked at me. Calm. Almost pitying. He wasn't evil, he just wanted to know more, wanted us to know more. Then she smiled. And they punished him for it. I laughed nervously. Well, you're going a little deep there, girl. But she didn't laugh with me. 2 nights later, I walked in and saw it. A Ouija board on the floor. Still in the box. I didn't say anything at first, just stared. She walked in, saw me looking, and grinned. Oh, that? Don't freak out. It's just a prop for class. Caden? That's not funny. She rolled her eyes. It's a toy, Leah, Parker Brothers, next to Monopoly. Then, like she was daring me, wanna play? I backed up. I'm not touching that shit. She laughed, sat cross-legged, and opened the box anyway. I stayed on my bed, clutching my pillow. She put her fingers on the planchette, moving it around. Spirits of the dark, come play with us. I said her name. Quiet. Caden, she giggled. Don't be such a baby. She looked up at the ceiling. Lucifer Morningstar, if you're listening. I sat up straight. Stop! She said it again, slower this time. Lucifer Morningstar. And then her whole body jerked, like something yanked her spine from above. Her eyes rolled back. Her mouth hung open, and her head snapped toward the ceiling so fast I heard her neck crack. I didn't move. Couldn't, just stared. My voice came out small. This isn't funny, Caden. No answer. Then slowly, so slowly, her head rolled forward until she was staring, not at me, at the door. Then she turned toward me and spoke. But the voice wasn't hers. It was deep, gravelly, wet. What's the matter, Sweet Pea? You don't want to show Papa love? My stomach dropped. My throat closed. That phrase, Sweet Pea. Papa love. That was what my grandfather used to whisper when he'd come into my room at night. When I was little, when I had no words for what was happening. I hadn't told anyone, not even my mother. Caden, I whispered. She blinked, and just like that, she was back, looking around, confused, breathing heavy, sweat pouring down her neck. What happened? She asked. I didn't answer. I couldn't. I didn't sleep that night. Didn't go to class the next day. I just sat on my bed and stared at that board. I wanted to burn it, throw it out the window, call someone. But I didn't, because part of me, the broken part, wondered. How did it know? After that night, she was never the same. Neither was I. Caden started sleep-talking, then sleep-walking. She'd stand in the mirror for hours, whispering things I couldn't understand, marking symbols on her arms with a red pen, saying she was making space for something. I tried to get help. The RA brushed me off. Her professor said it was probably midterm stress. But one night, I caught her writing something on our wall in Sharpie. I let him in. And beneath it, I want to stay. That's when I packed my shit, called my mom, told her I needed out. I couldn't sleep another night with her. But the dorm wouldn't release me. Not without proof of danger. So I made a plan. I'd record her, document it, get her words on tape. That night, I hit record on my phone and left it hidden under her desk. I pretended to sleep. At 3:14 a.m., I heard her rise, bare feet on tile, then whispering, Latin, over and over, then silence. Then her voice changed, that voice. Don't leave her yet. She's broken. She's ours. I didn't breathe, didn't blink. Then the closet door opened on its own, and something stepped out. I don't know how to describe it. A shape, tall, dark, not fully formed, like it was still deciding what to be. Caden turned toward it, smiling, crying. I did it, she whispered. Now make me perfect. It touched her. She screamed. Not in pain, in ecstasy, like something inside her broke wide open. I ran, didn't pack, didn't grab my phone, just ran. They moved her out the next day, said she had a psychotic break, put her on a 72-hour hold. No one would tell me where, no one could, but the RA stopped brushing me off after that. They let me switch dorms. Still, I never got my phone back. Never got the recording, but sometimes, when I'm trying to fall asleep, I hear her voice in my head. Don't leave her yet. She's broken. She's ours. And I swear. Last week, I got a letter. No return address. Just 3 words on the card inside. Sweet pea. Come home.